Hey, hey. Let's see. Let's move this over. There we go. Hey, hey, everyone. I know that it has been quite some time since I have gone live, and I am super excited about tonight's topic. Tonight, I'm talking about maintaining discipline and turning your focus into funds. Instagram, can you guys hear me? I'm tuning in on Facebook and Instagram right now. Tonight, I'm talking about maintaining discipline and turning your focus into funds. I know, and I'm just gonna hop right into it. For those of you all who are new to me, my name is Jasmine Womack. I am the Jasmine Womack on several platforms, and I work with corporate executives, emerging coaches, all right. To help them bundle their brilliance into a best-selling book and then turn their books into premium priced online coaching programs and coaching businesses. So I've been doing this work now for about 4 years full time. Previously, I was a language arts teacher for 12 years, taught sixth, seventh, and eighth grade and all of the nines, right? But I'm really, really excited to get into our topic for tonight. Tonight's topic is not necessarily about business, it's not necessarily about books, but the things that I'm going to share will be able to amplify your growth and your success in whatever endeavors you have, right? Hey, Tamasha on Instagram. So tonight is all about maintaining discipline and turning your focus into funds. I'm gonna say that again. I'm gonna say that again. Instagram. We're talking about maintaining discipline and turning your focus into funds. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pin this on Instagram real quick because I think that it's important for people to know what we're talking about as they come in. And I know that some people on Facebook are still coming in, haven't gone live in like forever. Now, I first want to share why I'm teaching on this topic, period, right? Like I know that things must be about to elevate or go to another level, going to be off the chain because and I believe that God is going to do a mighty work in the next 3 months because ever since June hit, honestly, it was like all hell broke loose. I don't know if any of you all have ever felt like it's one thing after the next. Like it's a knockdown here, a punch here, a crossover here, a jab here, like back to back to back. I don't know if y'all ever been through it. Like, y'all, I'm just gonna be very transparent in our conversation tonight. I don't know if y'all have ever been through that. I don't know if you have ever experienced that, just feeling like all hell has broken loose. They oftentimes, there's a saying that goes like, when it rains, it pours. And it doesn't mean that it's always financial or anything like that. It could be emotional things. Whatever. It's things that trigger you and your emotions, things that trigger certain parts of you. And it's just like, listen, this is too much. Let me quit. I just want to hop on a plane and run away. I just want to go somewhere. I want to get away from all of the things that's making me feel the way that I feel. I don't know about y'all. Y'all might be perfect patties up in here, right? But I know that I have had times in my life where I have felt like that. And it's almost like since June, ever since we opened up registration for my live event, it's been one thing after the next, like boom, 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 right? We're going to hook you here. We're going to jab you here. We're going to uppercut you here, right? And it was literally thing after thing. And honestly, some days it was not easy to show up. I remember one day I had an event, I had a virtual workshop in July, and I literally had to move my workshop time like an hour earlier, teach it, and then have a hard stop at a specific time because I had to go and attend a court case for some litigation that I had to initiate. People didn't know that at the time. I just said, hey, I have an appointment. But now that it's over, I can say, like, I had to teach a class and immediately get off and go to a I had a court date that I had to meet, and because of COVID, the way that they're doing things now, thank God, is a lot of places are doing them virtually, where you don't have to actually drive down there, right? But like life is still going to go on. Business is still going to go on. You still have to show up for relationships. You still have to show up for your responsibilities. So it's like, how do you maintain your discipline and still show up even when life is happening? How do you maintain your discipline and still keep your head in the game and actually become so focused that you're actually able to turn your focus into funds? That's what we're talking about tonight. And it's like, even now, even today, y'all, I work out every morning. I go to Orange Theory Fitness. I was in there and they had a move that just like really pulled the most out of me, to the point where it hurt so bad I started crying. Right? I don't know if y'all ever been there. You've been working out, but all the things that you've been feeling start coming up during your workout. And it's just like an overflood of emotions, right? And it's been like this for like the past week, but I still show up. My live event is almost sold out. We're 29 tickets from having a sold out event. And one of my friends, one of my closest friends, shouts out to Dr. Shamika Dean, shouts out to Dr. Jenna. They're actually going to be speakers at my live event, Six Figure Storyteller Live. But they were saying, listen, you need to go live about this. You need to teach this. You need to teach what you're doing. Like, how do you stay so focused in the midst of a storm? You're literally in the eye of a storm. How are you staying focused? So I said, you know what? I'll be transparent. I'll show up and I'll share some of the things that I'm doing and some of the things that I have historically done to continue to move forward, even when all hell is breaking loose. Because I believe that when life is happening, that's the easiest time to lose your discipline. That's the easiest point to lose your focus, and that's really when things can fall apart, right? But how do you keep it all together while keeping yourself together? And that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm not going all super fancy, guys. I got like 7 strategies. If I don't get through them all, I'll come back tomorrow and do a part 2. Because if you have attended any of my lives, you know that I can start once I start talking and teaching, it kind of takes a life of its own. And I don't want to be long-winded tonight. So even if we do half tonight and do a part 2 tomorrow, then that's what it's going to be. All right. So I read a quote this morning. It was actually a screenshot. And it said, if you're going through hell, don't stop. It said, if you are going through hell, don't stop. You're going through it. You can't stop. You have to keep going. So one of the things that I realized when I was in the midst of the storm, like when I was in the eye of the still in it, right? I realized that I could not do it all. I wasn't in the mental space to do it all. I didn't have the mental capacity to even bring the creativity, the level of creativity that I needed to bring to certain elements of my business. And so what I said is that, you know what? I'm not going to do it all. I don't have to do it all. And that's it. And I'm not. But what I did do is that every morning, I wake up during my morning time with God. And during my journaling time, I write out 3 things that I'm going to accomplish. I know a lot of us tend to have this long list of things that we plan to accomplish. My things were 3. I'm going to do 3 things and that's it. I did that, and that if I can do these 3 things, that's it. On some of those days, it was just simply showing up for the meeting. and not tapping out, right? Some of those days, it was okay, I'm going to create a letter, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to respond to this correspondence, right? 3 things, because life can't stop and business can't stop, right? What are your 3 things you're going to do? Sometimes those 3 things that you choose to do could be business related, but it can also just be showing up for yourself. You know what? I'm going to get some rest today. You know what? I'm going to keep my phone cut off on do not disturb all day so I can get the mental clarity that I need. What are your 3 things that you are committed to doing each day? 3 things, that's all you need. What we can't do is quit. What we can't do is give up. What we can't do is throw in the towel. What we can't do is get a nasty or negative attitude. That's what we can't do. But what you can do is continue to show up in the way that you can show up at that moment. And that's it. And you don't owe anybody any additional explanations. You don't owe anybody apologies. That's it. All right. The second thing that I did was that, and the second thing that I do or recommend is to get quiet. Get quiet. Because it's during these times when you have to hear from the Spirit the most. Now, the Bible says that in a multitude of counselors, there is wisdom. So I would encourage you to have select people that you talk to. It's not going to be all your friends, shouldn't be your coworkers and all that, not all your family. I had people that I talked to, and I had to get quiet. I had to silence the noise. So that means that I might not respond to certain things. I'm not going to respond to certain people because I have to get quiet. Because and when you're in the midst of the storm, you can't respond out of emotion. When you're in the midst of the storm, you can't respond, or it's not wise to respond out of pressure or out of being tempted. You have to get quiet so that you can begin to hear. You have to get quiet so you can begin to actually clear your mind. You got to get quiet so you can calm the emotions, so that you can calm whatever rage, whatever anger, whatever irritation, whatever angst you feel on the inside. You got to calm that, because you can't move forward strategically. You can't move forward clearly if you got all of the thoughts and all of the emotions and all of the things going on the inside, if this makes sense. So you got to get quiet. I had select people. I wasn't talking to all my friends. I wasn't talking to my coaches. I wasn't talking to all my family. You got to keep people out your business. I had 3 core people I talked to. One was my therapist, because I knew that she would give me an unbiased opinion and help me to clear my mind, give me a space to talk out my emotions. And the other were 2 close friends who I know are rooted in the word. And I knew that they had experienced similar, and they made it out on the other side. So you have to be selective with who you choose as your counselors, because the girls that you went to, that you've been homegirls with since high school or since college, they might not be suitable counselors for you in this season. They might not be suitable counselors for you in this season to support you or to give you a word of wisdom to help guide you through your go through. And this is the truth. You have to be select. I don't care. It doesn't matter how long you've known them. You have to look at their background. You have to take their experience, how they respond to situations. What is the fruit? Wise counsel. A lot of us will go to people and we'll talk to them and ask for advice, but they have absolutely no fruit in the areas that we're asking them for advice in. They have absolutely no fruit in the areas that we're sitting there pouring our hearts out to them about. What does their fruit say? I don't care if you've been cool with them or y'all been running tight since college. You might need a different type of wise counselor to help guide you through this. What you shouldn't do is keep it all to yourself. What you shouldn't do is try to handle everything all by yourself, because that's when loneliness sets in. That's when depression sets in. Like, sometimes life can hit hard, so hard emotionally and mentally, where it's literally physically difficult to get out of bed, where it's physically difficult to stand up, where it's physically difficult to get yourself dressed. Life can hit hard. But this is why you have to create a circle or a community so that you don't go through it all by yourself. All right. Number three, trying times are not the time. That's not the moment to lose focus. It's not the moment to ditch discipline. And it's not the moment to wow out. Because truth of the matter is, everything that's going on is pointing back to you. It's there to teach you a lesson. It's there to help you grow in your faith. It's there to help you grow in your resilience and how you respond to certain circumstances and situations. See, a lot of us are praying for growth. We're praying for acceleration, but we haven't developed the type of spirit. We haven't developed the type of mental stamina to even be able to handle the blessings that we're asking for. And if you can navigate things going on in your personal life, business will be a piece of cake. Because, however, the same way that you handle things in your personal life, with the same manner, the same energy, the same spirit, the same attitude that you address things that occur in your personal life, it carries over to your business and how you handle things, how you deal with people, how you talk to people, how you treat people. And this is the truth. And I think that there can be a misconception that when you get to a certain level in your life, or maybe potentially even in your business, that these things don't happen. You might have been through some stuff. More things are going to come. But it's all in how you handle it. Trying times are not the time to lose focus. It's not the time to ditch your discipline. It's not the time to wild out. Despite what the world says, despite what social media says that we should be doing. A lot of us have vices, whether it's partying. I'm gonna party it away. One of my favorite songs is Solange, "Cranes in the Sky." She said, "I tried to push it away. I tried to drink it away. I tried to dance it away. I tried to sex it away." She said all of these things. These are vices. I tried to eat it away. And we try to do all of these external things to address how we're feeling on the inside, to quote unquote make us feel better. But when you're going through the eye of the storm, this is the time to do things differently. This is the time to do something different and in a different way. This is when you have to lean into your discipline or into spiritual practices that will help you become more disciplined, especially if you know that you lack discipline or that you struggle with focus. This is the time not to lose it all and throw it all away and wild out. This is a time to lean in, which takes me to number 4, fast. Some of y'all may be familiar with fasting. Some of you all may not be familiar with fasting. Now, for me, I know a lot of people define fasting as no food at all, but I don't typically do that type of fast, especially when I'm already irritated. I do music fast. I'm only taking things that's into my spirit that are wholesome and positive, right? I started fasting. So there's a spiritual fast called the 40-day fast. I've talked about it. Tell all my students about it. You can check it out at 40day.com. And it's a fast from the 7 deadly sins. So every day you have to do something to counter your flesh. Like, in order to counter gluttony, you have to stop eating at each meal before you are full. In order to counter envy, you can't gossip. You can't complain about nothing. Where is it? It's in my bag. It's in my other bag because I would pull it out. It's in my bag. There are certain things that you have to do every single day. And so I started it. And I'm like on day 3 right now, because there's points in time when there's moments in life when things happen when you can't do nothing but surrender. And when I mean surrender, I don't mean, oh, just give up and go on about life. I mean, you get into the mindset that you control what you can control. You do what you can do. to the capacity that you can do it with, and you literally fight in the flesh. I mean, fight in the spirit, which is what I'm going to talk about next. So you have to actually create you have to fast from something. Because what happens is that you have to learn how to bring your flesh under subjection. We're so used to doing all the things that we want to do. I'm going to eat when I want to eat what I want to eat. Doesn't matter what time of the night. Doesn't matter if it's fried, full of gravy, whatever. Right? We used to talk in any kind of way, watching anything and watching all these things is what is that? What's that show? Y'all know that show because y'all be watching it. What is it? Where they at the pink at the strip club and all that? I see y'all post. Y'all be watching all the stuff, taking all of the things into your spirit. And what happens is that your mind and your spirit and your heart is overflowing with mess. Mess that you watching, mess that you listening to, gossip that you're ingesting every day, stuff that you see on social media. And so what happens is that when you encounter something that's going to require you to dig a little bit deeper, you respond in a fleshly way. And it stresses you out even more. A lot of us want success in our businesses or with the goals that we have set, but we don't even know how to control ourselves. Folks try to go control other people, but you can't even control yourself. Fast. Learn how to bring yourself under subjection and begin cleansing your ear gates, your eye gates, so you can hear, so that you can feel. A lot of times the answers that you need are already, God has already given them to you. You literally just can't sense it because your spirit is not sensitive enough. Which takes me to number 5. How I was able to maintain my discipline. I'm getting to the funds part, turning my focus into funds and keep going even through the midst of a storm when all hell breaks loose, right? Takes me to number 5, buckle down on my prayer time. Last year, I used to always, like clockwork, share my prayer time and my morning routine in my Instagram stories. And it was maybe a few months ago, God told me, no, I need all of your time. I need all your attention. I had to buckle down on my prayer time. So I used to walk around my house and pray while my kids are sleeping in the morning, like 5:00 in the morning, right? Walking through my house and praying. I took my prayers from walking around my house. Some of us need to break out that war room again. I took my prayers from walking around the house. I took my prayers from sitting in the bed to going back into my closet. On my hands and knees, totally subjected. Because what I had to remember, because you know how you know things, right? But then you forget. Not necessarily that you forget, but it's just not top of mind. Ephesians 6:12 states that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And sometimes we can get so caught up in the day-to-day that we forget that we're not dealing with people. We're not dealing with flesh and blood. You're dealing with spirits. And I began to think about the women in the Bible. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is the story of Esther. Right? And this doesn't mean I'm perfect because I'm talking about this. I'm doing my best to refine myself, right? But I understand because the word says that some things can only come out by prayer and fasting. And we're sitting up trying to make things move in the physical, and you can't fight it in the physical. So one of my favorite stories in the Bible is the story of Esther and how she was selected, didn't have the background, but she was selected. Hey, baby, I love you. She was selected to do it was Haman had created an edict to kill all the Jews in the nation because her uncle wouldn't bow to him. So he was so full of pride that because this one person wouldn't bow to him, he said, okay, I'm going to kill all your people. Her uncle went to her and said, listen, you got to do something. She's like, listen, I can't go into the king. He has not summoned me. Don't you know that I can risk my very life? He says, well, don't think that if you don't do nothing, or just because you sitting up there, you know, in the castle, that this won't fall on you too. What if you were put in position for such a time as this to help our people? So what happened? She didn't move forward by yelling and carrying on. She didn't go after Haman by telling him about himself. She didn't curse and carry on and make a scene. She didn't go off, snap, give folks a piece of her mind. She fasted for 3 days. She got quiet. She brought her spirit under subjection, and she got others to pray and fast with her. Going back to what I was saying with number 2, a multitude of counselors. All right. So I began to fast. I began to pray. I said, I'm not going to fight this with flesh and blood. I'm going to war this in the spirit. I'm going back to my prayer closet because that's all I can do. That's it. And sometimes in life, that's all we can do. And one of the things that I'm learning throughout this is that in every circumstance, even when there are things you can do, you still need to lay it down. You still need to surrender it, because at the end of the day, you don't have control. We stress ourselves out by trying to control things. We stress ourselves out by trying to control people. Prepare yourself. Do the best you can do. Other than that, pray and fast that thing away. And I mean it. Because what you don't want to happen is that you stress yourself out and it turns into illness. You stress yourself out and it turns into sickness. You stress yourself out and you become depressed and all these other things. And now you can't even live or function because your heart is totally crushed. So what can you do to resuscitate your heart and to keep your emotions at least at bay? If you think that you can just control everything on your own, you're going to end up in the same circumstances, feeling the same way that you have felt for the last year, for the last 3 years, for the last 5 years. Situations don't just happen. They come to teach us something about ourselves and to help us grow and elevate. And the growth and the elevation will always be mental, emotional, and spiritual first before the growth is seen in the physical. If you broke financially, what's broken inside of you emotionally that you need to heal? What forgiveness process do you need to go through? If you find that you're having issues with women consistently, different women in your family, different women in your life, or different men back to back to back, what area is God trying to bring to your attention? Likely stemming from your childhood or some point of your adolescence that has to do with women, that might have to do with your mother, that has to do with men, that you have to go down and heal. All right? So on top of that, I delegated when possible. I gave myself grace for not doing all of the things, and I got rest. which doesn't mean I didn't do nothing. And I remember I did my 3 things, but I started going to bed at a certain time and getting up at a certain time. I stopped trying to do all the things and stand up super late at night. Oh, I didn't go live today. Let me try to You know what? I didn't make it. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna give it a good shot tomorrow. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna do my routine. I'm gonna go work, take my kids to school, go work out, do the things that I need to do, have my meetings. But I'm going to get rest and I'm going to delegate as much as possible. And I know a lot of times comes back to that surrendering that control again. You have those lingering thoughts. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got to do that. If you don't do it, the world ain't going to fall apart. Some of the things that you have on your plate can wait. Some of them might need to wait because in your season of surrender and yielding, more clarity will come. All right. And the last thing that I did, number 7, was that I began to eliminate distractions. But I began to eliminate distractions on a level that I've never done it before. So, yes, I put my phone on do not disturb and all the things. But it's actually, yes, I think it might have been it was yesterday, because yesterday I didn't go to the gym. I stayed home and I was on my Peloton. But while I was on my Peloton, about 20 minutes into my routine, the pest control guy pulled up and I could see it from the front of my house. I had my blinds open. I could look out the window while I was riding my bike or whatnot. The pest control guy got pulled up and came and knocked on the door. Well, there I am in the middle of my workout, getting it. In the past, I would have paused my workout and I would have gone to the door and I would have opened it and talked to him, seeing what he wants. But I said, you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm choosing myself. I said, I didn't know he was coming. We didn't have an appointment. I had an appointment with myself this morning to do my workout. So that's what I'm going to do. And whatever he needs, he can leave a note on the door. We can call him later. I began to focus in a way that I've never focused before. I kept my focus. I didn't care that he could see me through the blinds. I didn't pause my ride. I didn't go and why? I didn't do that. Why? You might ask why. It would have only taken a minute, because that minute or 2 minutes would have broken my momentum. That minutes or 2 minutes that I would have taken to go talk to him would have stopped my body, would have stopped my body from going. It would have broken my mental concentration that I had at that time as well. And then I would have had to come and get back on. And it probably would have taken me about another 5 minutes to just get back into it and bring my body back up to the same level where it was before he came and knocked on my door. I chose myself. And what I want you to tell you, you have to eliminate distractions on a different level. You don't have to have the conversations that disrupt your spirit if you are not in a space to have them. You can take a moment to get yourself together mentally. You can tell people no. You can set the boundaries. You don't have to answer the door. You don't have to answer the calls. No is a real answer. And you know what? I didn't go to the door and my front and backyard is sprayed and everything is still functioning. Did nothing fall apart because I didn't go to see what the pest control guy wanted. Keep your focus. Eliminate distractions. So that means that while you're working during your work time, especially when you are going through a period like this, and if you choose to continue to work during your work time, then don't take calls. That's your focus time. When you're with your family, hey, baby. Love y'all. I'm almost finished, okay? When you're with your family, that's your family time. God convicted me about that today. So, like, after I get off of here, I'll come back later and check the comments, but that's going to be my time with my kids. Uninterrupted. Focus. You talking on the phones with your friends? That's your talk time. You checking in with your family, that's your talk time. But after that, it's over. Create whatever time you set out or that you create in your schedule to do certain things. Focus on that thing while you are doing it. You will be 100 times more productive. And you know what? All week I was doing this. Well, the last several days or whatnot. And life didn't stop. Business kept going. Matter of fact, we only have 29 seats left in our live event because people are steadily buying tickets. Because the work that I've done up to now, it still speaks. It still stands for it's still standing. The best thing that you can do is create boundaries for yourself and honor them, not just when you're going through tough moments, but honor them at all times. Honor them at all times. All right. That's all I have for today. And I'm telling you this, and one of the reasons why I titled this "Maintaining Discipline and Turn Your Focus into Funds" is because when you can focus on this level in your personal life, it will carry over into your business. Business will be a breeze for you. A lot of us are not seeing the success that we want in our businesses because we lack the focus and we lack the discipline. We're all over the place when we need to be focusing on one thing. We get distracted by shiny object syndrome. Or you enroll in a program, life happens, and then you fall off and quit. No, keep going. You might not be at 100%, but if you can give 40%, if you can give 60%, that's still better than nothing. You can't give up or quit on yourself. The same level of discipline and focus that you have in your life is absolutely going to carry over to your goals and to your business. And you can either use it to help you make money, or if you don't, get control over it, it will keep you from making the money that you want to make. And that's the truth. People ask me all the time, how did you go from teaching to building a 7-figure business? Faith, focus, and discipline. And that's the truth. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I know that this particular live stream was not about books or business per se, but on Sunday, I am doing the second installment in the 6-Figure Shift Back to School series. I'll be teaching on how to host and monetize live workshops. It's this Sunday, September 4th from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. It's about 90 minutes from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. You can register. It's totally free at www.mysixfigureshift.com. And for those of you all who have been on the fence about attending 6-Figure Storyteller Live, that's October 28th through the 30th. Y'all, we are down to the final 29 seats. So you can sit here and sit on the fence if you want to and not have a spot because all the tickets have been taken. All right. So you can go to www.6figurestorytellerlive if you want to come rock with me for 3 days and learn the foundations of writing your best-selling book and building a multi-6-figure online coaching business. You can learn more about 6-Figure Storyteller at www.6figurestorytellerlive.com. Otherwise, I'm doing a free training on Sunday. We'll be teaching how to host and monetize live workshops. You do have to register for it. It will not be air on live stream. It will be private, but you do have to register for it. And you can go to www.mysixfigureshift.com to register for the free training. My children are home. My daughter just got out of dance, so I'm going to go help them get ready for bed and do all of the things. So I will talk to you guys later. If you leave a comment, I'll be back to check it in the next 48 hours. Okay. I'll see y'all soon.